General of the Malawi Police Service. And in sports, Volleyball Association of Malawi VAM to scout talent from Replay Volleyball Tournament. Thank you for joining us. Now the news in detail. President Professor Arthur Peter Mutharika has called for more local and international support towards families affected by hunger. This follows the addition of 21 districts, including cities, to the 11 districts that were earlier declared state of disaster due to severe food insecurity caused by prolonged dry spells. The additional districts are Salima, Zomba, Mashinga, Zomba City, Balaka, Chilatsulu, Mangochi, Ncheu, Deta, Lilongwe City, Mchinji, Doa, Kasungu, Mzimba, Mzuzu City, Rumpi, Karonga, Chitipa, Likoma, and Blantyre City. A statement from the Office of the Chief Secretary says government is facilitating provision of humanitarian assistance and it will intensify irrigation farming. Secret Segula has more.
Speaking to Malawi Broadcasting Corporation, Chief Secretary Justin Saidi says the other districts were added on the list of state of disaster after noting that almost all districts are food insecure due to the prolonged drought that hit some parts of the country last year.
The area report or statement was talking of 11 districts because we are looking at some that have almost 50, about 20% challenges on those that are critically affected. But now, going back and seeing what is there in all the districts, so almost like every district has to be supported. And you may recall that we even started supporting those even that were not on the 11 districts that were declared first. So this time around, it's like we want to give names to all those districts in the country. Our wish that all organizations should come forward and support Malawi since His Excellency the State President Professor Arthur Peter Mutharika declared a state of disaster.
Saidi further appealed for support from local and international community. The Malawi Vulnerable Assessment Committee MVAC report indicated that over 4 million people across the country are facing food insecurity during the 2025-2026 reign period, requiring humanitarian assistance. Secret Segula, MBC, Blantyre.
Vice President Dr. Chen Ansah will preside over the launch of the lean season food insecurity response program in the northern region today. According to a statement from the Office of the Vice President, the event will take place at Kavitowe Primary School ground in Paramount Chief Mbero's area in Mzimba District. Meanwhile, all is set as Vice President Dr. Chen Ansah is expected to officially launch the Northern Region 2025-2026 Lean Season Food Distribution Program in the district. Speaking to Embassy ahead of the function, District Commissioner for Mbera District Council, Rogers Newa, said 662 vulnerable families are expected to receive maize and cash support in Mzimba alone. Newa has since commended government for its commitment to ensuring that no Malawian starves. He speaks to Chisomo Manda.
As the Mbera District Council and the Mzimba District, we are very ready to welcome the Vice President of the Republic. Basically, I think we have an important program tomorrow where she is launching what we call the lean season support. This is the period where most families and households do not have food. Those who have, not enough. And that's where the government also has shown its own responsibility to ensure that people have food. And the program tomorrow is basically where families will be given food for the first time, opening up the season, or the lean season. This is not the one and last one. I think this food will be coming every month for the people to receive food. And that is the response of the government to ensure that at least people have something to eat.
Parliament has confirmed the appointment of Richard Luhanga as the Inspector General of the Malawi Police Service. The House unanimously voted for Luhanga through a voice vote. We have a report.
Although it was Private Members' Day, the House on Thursday morning agreed to waive standing orders and go to government business to confirm the new Inspector General of Police. Minister of Homeland Security Peter Mukito moved a motion that the House confirms Mr. Richard Luhanga as new police IG. The motion was seconded by Minister of Local Government and Rural Development Ben Piri and Member of Parliament for the Zagasina Joshua Malango. The whole House then unanimously confirmed Luhanga as the Inspector General of Police through a voice vote. Minister of Homeland Security Peter Mukito says the confirmation of the Inspector General is timely tonic for police operations.
It means now that the Malawi Police Service has a confirmed Inspector General of Police given the mandate by the Parliament as stipulated in the Constitution. And I would like also to say that when I came into the office, I invited Mr. Luhanga into my office and I explained the concerns out there concerning the professionalism of the Malawi police officers. We talked a lot about it, and what I think came about was that I think we need to instill more skills and knowledge in our officers.
Opposition spokesperson on security Joshua Malango of the Zagasina speaks on the confirmation of Luhanga.
As opposition, we congratulate the Inspector General of Police, Mr. Richard Luhanga. Our message, my message, which I will speak on behalf of opposition, is that he must be the Inspector General of the people.
Mr. Luhanga joined the Malawi Police Service in 1997 and has risen through police ranks to the top job. Luhanga holds a master's degree in business administration. He has also served in peacekeeping missions under the United Nations. Charles Wahara, MBC, Parliament Building, Lilongwe.
Parliament says it will consider a petition from the Centre for Democracy and Economic Development Initiative, CIDET, and the Lost History Foundation calling for the inclusion of Indigenous languages in its deliberations and proceedings. According to CIDET Executive Director Sylvester Namiwa, the move would help Parliament achieve its goal of bringing the August House closer to the people and increasing public participation in national debates. Emmanuel Chukonso with the details.
The calls for Parliament to use Indigenous languages have been there, but this time around they seem to resurface, as CIDET and the Lost History Foundation have formally petitioned Parliament, arguing that adopting local languages would enhance citizens' participation and promote Malawi's cultural identity. Sylvester Namiwa is the Executive Director of CIDET.
It doesn't make sense whatsoever that someone who was campaigning in vernacular should come, was campaigning in vernacular and should come back into the House and speak exotic and foreign languages. So we would like to believe that this petition marks a journey. As a country, we need to interrogate most of the things we copied wholesomely from foreign nationals. This will ensure inclusivity, will ensure participation. At the same time, we are of the considered view that this is going to enrich debate in the House.
Receiving the petition on behalf of members of Parliament, Zomba City North MP Besta Awali said the proposal aligns with Parliament's ongoing efforts to bring the August House closer to Malawians.
Most of the multitudes in the villages cannot understand the language that we use in the parliamentary proceedings, that is English, the Queen's language. So we need to embrace the vernacular language that people speak, that people can understand, so that as we move closer to the people, we should be on the same page. So the next step is that when I've received this petition, I'll hand it over or submit it to the Speaker of Parliament, and the procedures will be followed so that it should be tabled on the floor.
Countries like Lesotho, South Africa, Tanzania have incorporated Indigenous languages in their proceedings and deliberations of their August House. Emmanuel Chikonso, MBC News, Lilongwe.
Government says it is geared to implement several initiatives that will help reduce child marriages by 20% out of the prevailing rate, which is at 37% in Malawi by 2030. This is to ensure that girls and women enjoy equal status with boys and men in unleashing their full potential to several life opportunities. Details with Jackson Sijali.
Statistics indicate that 12 million girls marry each year before the age of 18 globally, a situation that has brought the attention of several stakeholders to bang heads on finding ways of dealing with the malpractice. It is out of this background that the Ministry of Gender has embarked on a campaign of disseminating information about the dangers of child marriages to councils and how best they can deal with such cases in order to ensure the safety of children's rights, especially girls. Deputy Director for Child Affairs in the Ministry of Gender, Justin Hemera, said protecting the rights of children from getting married before their time is key in the development agenda of Malawi 2063 aspirations.
As a ministry, we took this one heads on and we came up with a successor strategy on ending child marriage, which among other things it wants to address all the harmful cultural practices and also the traditional practices to ensure that they are in favor of the girls' well-being and also on their rights as children, but also for their educational rights.
Coordinator for Girls Not Brides Malawi, who is also the Executive Director of Foundation for Children's Rights, Jennifer Mkandavide, encouraged girls to work hard in class and look beyond the storms of life to become responsible citizens.
Circumstances should not limit them to work hard in class because there are so many well-wishers. Actually, the parents should just work hard to make sure that they send their children to school because that's their primary responsibility. And then the government should make sure that the environment that the children are learning are good for that learner to be motivated.
Director of Education and Sports at Rumpi District Council, Fides Msoya, hailed the government for introducing free secondary school education, noting that this will help poor girls to continue with their studies without necessarily rushing into marriage as a result of poverty.
This time around it's even much better for the girls because the government has just announced that we'll have free secondary education. Previously they used to say fees was a problem, but this time around there's no excuse for them. They just have to come back to school.
Reports indicate that every minute 23 young girls get married across the globe, a development which demands a collaborative effort from different stakeholders, including non-state actors, to take necessary steps in ending child marriages. Jackson Sejari, MBC News, Mzuzu.
This is MBC News and you are with me, Evelis Jangambe. A reminder of the top stories. President Mutharika calls for more local and international support towards families affected by hunger. Parliament confirms appointment of Richard Luhanga as the new Inspector General of the Malawi Police Service. And in sports, Volleyball Association of Malawi VAM to scout talent from Replay Volleyball Tournament. Welcome back. A heated showdown is expected today as three Democratic Progressive Party DPP ward councillors, Joseph Makwinja of Bangwe Namiango, Isaac Jomo Osman of Bangwe Ntopa, and Eric Mofolo of Mapangamzeli square off for the powerful position of Blantyre City Mayor. Simeon Boyce with the details.
The election has set the stage for an intense intra-party contest within the DPP, which dominates the council with 28 councillors and only 2 independents. Speaking when he organized a luncheon for persons with albinism who are members of poor and concerned people with albinism, PACPA, in Blantyre, Isaac Jomo Osman says he has all the qualities to be mayor for the city.
I am capable to become the mayor of Blantyre because of what? My background. I grew up from the street and I know what is needed to make Blantyre becoming a better place again. So I know there's a lot of people going to say so many things. They are talking about education. Yes, they know Jomo who doesn't went to school before on primary level, but they don't know the Jomo who was going up. There's a difference. Jomo has the grace that God has given him.
On the other hand, Mapangamzedi councillor Eric Mofolo, who is an accountant by profession, says his decision to contest has been driven by passion for the city. He says if elected, he will improve the status of Blantyre.
So my coming in, I've seen the gaps. So we want to fill those gaps, mainly in areas to do with urbanization, to do with health, issues to do with street vending, street keys, even issues to do with security. Because recently I've seen that we have got so many scenes in Blantyre whereby the residents have been attacked. So we want to engage the stakeholders. We need to sit down and map the way forward. I'm more than qualified for the post. If you go back a little bit, you'll find that there was a previous mayor, Councillor Chalamanda. He performed well, not just simply because he was a councillor, but because of some experience that he had from his work. But also, we can argue here the way we want that sometimes education is not bad. Mind you, we are putting a precedent that one day will come back and haunt us.
The third contestant, former Mayor Joseph Makwinja, says he is seeking re-election to complete his final term. A Blantyre resident, Bishop Sam D. Piri, tips the councillors to elect a mayor who will be capable in the position.
The qualities I'm looking now, be a mayor, is like education-wise. That's what I'm talking about, education-wise. And the integrity, So you can be a mayor, yet you don't have integrity. You don't have education. Your education is low. It's nothing. Because there's money there. There's 5 billion. So that 5 billion, it just to take somebody to put that position in terms of that 5 billion, you will find that the 5 billion is messed up.
The elections are expected to reshape leadership dynamics at Blantyre City Council as the DPP seeks to maintain a firm grip on Malawi's commercial capital. Simeon Boyce, NBC News, Blantyre.
The Lilongwe Magistrates Court is expected to give its ruling on political-related violence cases today. The cases involving Davy Malamulo, Bruno Makina and Eric Pagamisa are answering 6 charges bordering on causing malicious damage and intent to cause bodily harm to members of the Afford Party. The offences were allegedly committed in Jesse, Lilongwe City. The accused persons have pleaded not guilty on the charges leveled against them. In a related matter, David Malamulo's case, where he is being accused of deflating tires for members of parliament this year, has also been adjourned to today. In the 2 cases, State Prosecutor Moja Piri denied the accused person bail, claiming they can run away. However, defense lawyer George Katsibajige argued that bail is a constitutional right.
We made 2 applications. There were 2 files, 2 separate charges which were leveled against 2 sets of accused persons. In one of the cases, there is only 1 accused person, and the bail hearing in that particular case started yesterday. Today, we continued with that particular case, and we wound up our arguments from both sides, from my side and defense counsel, and from the side of the state. Then we started arguing about bail application relating to the other case in which 3 accused persons are being accused of various offences. So we have made our applications, and we are now waiting for the release of the ruling of the magistrate regarding those applications. It should rather speed up prosecution. It should expedite the prosecution of the accused persons. It should bring evidence to show the court that the accused persons are guilty, rather than punishing them before it has adduced the evidence before the court.
Former Deputy Inspector General of Malawi Police Service Akis Mwanga and Crime Superintendent Laudon Tinda will remain in custody until next week, Tuesday. Senior Resident Magistrate Assunta Maxwell reserved her ruling on bail application on Thursday. The two are facing charges of money laundering, abuse of office, and extortion. They are accused to have forcibly collected a sum of 1.3 billion kwacha from Malawians of Indian origin. Both accused persons have since pleaded not guilty to all charges. Tsikondiantu Malunda is a state prosecutor in the case.
The two accused persons have been charged with 3 offenses. The first offense relates to an attempt to extort, attempts at extortion, and the second charge is about money laundering, while the third charge is abuse of office. And these charges emanate from an allegation that the two together abused the powers of their offices. You remember Mr. Akis Mwanga was at all material times Deputy Inspector General of Police responsible for operations, while Mr. Laudon Ntenda, Senior Superintendent, was a crimes superintendent. So the charges emanate from their alleged abuse of their power to obtain the amount of 1,300,000,000 kwacha from 3 Malawians of Asian origin. As you heard in court, we are not through with investigations. That's why we requested their further detention.
African scientists and education experts are calling for the inclusion of indigenous knowledge in science teaching across the continent. They say Africa's classrooms must value local wisdom and project-based learning to make science more relevant to learners' lives. McDonald Joayula reports.
At the 22nd Conference on Mathematics, Science and Technology Education in Africa, COMSTEDA 22, underway in Lilongwe, delegates agreed that science should reflect African realities and indigenous knowledge systems. From Uganda, educators are rediscovering traditional practices that carry deep scientific meaning. National Trainer of Mathematics in the Ministry of Education in Uganda, Caroline Taliba, explains.
So in Uganda, what we are doing and what we keep emphasizing is that for whatever topic you pick from the curriculum, start with what the learner knows.
Taliba says Uganda's competence-based curriculum now encourages learners to document local innovations from herbal medicine to traditional farming, linking them to modern science. In Ghana, the Practical Education Network is promoting hands-on learning that connects science to local problem solving. One of the advocates of science education in Ghana, working with Practical Education Network of Ghana, is Isaac Sobazi.
Africa, we have the potential, we have what it takes, and it begins with our learners. The way we train our learners is what they will produce. If learners at this age are able to use what is around them to produce resources, to produce solutions, to solve problems, then it means they are capable of solving our problems in our countries. And what I saw yesterday is a practical application of decolonizing STEM, using what is around us to solve our local problems.
In Zambia, Japan's International Cooperation Agency, JICA, is supporting schools to promote project-based learning, linking theory to practice. JICA's STEM advisor, Yumi Sigiguchi, says practical learning helps students see science in everyday life.
Just yesterday, we visited the schools and the College of Education, and I was really surprised with what the learners did. And they already developed their beautiful gardens as well as the animal cages, so that they really enjoy the science at their own level, and also that they try to connect what is STEM with their own life and also the community. But maybe in Japan also, the teachers always tend to teach a lot from the, the theory-based. However, the learners are a little bit confused. What is the theory? Is it to contribute to the society? However, the project type, the project-based of the STEM learning is easy to adapt to their learning so that we can promote more for the STEM project-based learning, I think.
In sports, Volleyball Association of Malawi VAM to scout talent for the national team from the 2025 Replay Volleyball Tournament. VAM President James Kaunda made the remarks in Mzuzu at a press briefing ahead of the kick-off of the tournament slated for today. Hassan Piri has the details.
It's that time of the year again when volleyball players, teams and officials converge in Mzuzu for a Replay Volleyball National Tournament where they compete and outdo each other in a volleyball court for the top prize money at stake. Speaking during a press briefing ahead of the kickoff on Friday, Volleyball Association of Malawi President James Kaunda urged teams to bring their best players to make the competition competitive. He stressed that they will use the 2025 edition of the Replay Volleyball National Tournament to identify best players that will represent Malawi at international level.
We are prepared to conduct a very successful volleyball tournament, Replay, this year, 2025, because with this, as I said, maybe we are gearing on 2 or 3 things that I will do. You see, we try to come up with a check on the dream team that we have. And again, it's a time that the numbers of the players that we suggested to be chosen, that when we have national engagements.
Replay Public Relations Officer Dalit Sochimwala emphasized their commitment to growing volleyball in Malawi. He stressed that this year the company will in the end surprise the participating teams.
Well, just like last year, the sponsorship was 25 million. This year it's also 25 million. We have maintained it. Of course, as the Volleyball Association of Malawi president indicated, discussions on some nitty-gritties are continuing. There might be some surprises, but as of now, what I can confirm is that the sponsorship is 25 million kwacha.
The tournament, which is set for the grand kickoff on Friday, the 14th of November, will attract 24 teams, 12 for men and the other 12 for ladies, drawn from different parts of the country. Hassan Piri, MBC News, Mzuzu.
In international news, some African countries have received looted artifacts that symbolize their cultural heritage and identity. Taken during colonial times, these artifacts hold significant historical and cultural value. Over 130 gold and bronze artifacts have been returned to Asante, King of Ghana, which includes royal regalia, drums, and ceremonial gold weights. Telson Magombo reports.
These repatriations represent a significant step towards restoring cultural dignity and historical narratives, allowing countries to reclaim their heritage and promote cultural sovereignty. According to BBC, some of these were looted by British troops in 1897 from Africa, and many were auctioned off in London and are in collection all over the world. The Asante gold artifacts are the ultimate symbol of the Asante royal government and are believed to be invested with the spirits of former Asante kings. In Nigeria, over 100 precious ancient sculptures were retained from the Netherlands, with Germany agreed to retain over 1,000 additional pieces. In Ethiopia, negotiations are underway for the return of over 200 objects from UK institutions, including manuscripts and ceremonial crosses. Historians have described these artifacts as a symbol of identity in African societies.
People are going to follow up and go to the museums to observe what has been returned. This is of economic importance because people will pay to go and look at the items which have been brought back. More often than not, we remember some of these things which are of spiritual significance. If it is being returned, it brings us a lot of happiness, physically, mentally, and spiritually.
Recently, Western countries have been under increasing pressure to return these items in their collection to their countries of origin. Tosin Magombo, MBC News.
And that's it from our newsroom this morning. A recap of our top stories before we leave. President Mutharika calls for more local and international support towards families affected by hunger. Parliament confirms appointment of Richard Luhanga as the new Inspector General of the Malawi Police Service. And in sports, Volleyball Association of Malawi ZAM to scout talent from Replay Volleyball Tournament. For more news, visit our Facebook page, Embassy Digital. You have been with me, Evelis Jingambe. Thanks for watching and good morning.